Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Trevor White with The Legal Edge. And today's topic in this fire is sometimes you just gotta bake the cake. Sit back, relax, and welcome to today's fire. Okay, so what am I talking about? I'm talking about, and you may have heard this analogy before, but I love it and it hits home. All right, if you were to take the greatest cake recipe of all time, right? You get this chocolate cake recipe, it's the greatest recipe of all time, and you get it from like this amazing baker, and they're like, here you go, here's this cake recipe, and you follow the recipe perfectly. Perfectly, you put in all the right amount of flour and sugar and vanilla and cocoa and all the things, right? You got everything in there doing its thing, and it's just amazing and it's awesome, and there you go, you got this cake all ready to go in the oven. And you sit there and you're like, you know what? The recipe calls for 350 degrees, 28 minutes. But I don't want to wait 28 minutes. I want to have it faster than that. So what if I just double the temperature and I do 700 degrees and I only put it in for 12 minutes? What's the result going to be? Yeah, you're going to end up with a massively burnt, disgusting, worthless, ruined birthday cake that you were trying to make, right? Some things just take time. No matter how much willpower you have, you can't force time. You have to be able to let things develop and bake to become the thing they want to become. See, we are in a world, in a society of immediate gratification. We are in this place where we're like, well, I want it now. I did the thing, so I should have the result now. Well, I already made the decision, or my mind said, hey, this is what we need to do. So you made the decision to do it, and then you expected the results from it to come tomorrow. Some of the things that you do on the side of this game, they take time. They have to bake, right? But because we want it now, sometimes we think we did it wrong. Sometimes we think we screwed it up, right? I could look at the burnt cake coming out of the oven and blame it on, well, maybe I didn't put enough butter in. Maybe there wasn't enough milk. Maybe it was too much milk. Maybe the flour was bad. It was bad flour. You know, it had weevils in it. That must be what it is, right? And we can start to blame the recipe. We can blame the ingredients that we use, not realizing that we just didn't give it enough time to bake, right? And this is a really challenging thing in the element of business, right? When I'm talking about growing and building real wealth, right? We all watch this online, and especially when you see like the punk kids out there that are driving the Lamborghinis and like 22 years old. They literally make money by doing nothing but making videos that are funny and engaging to watch, which good for them. I mean, that's great, but they see it and it happens quickly, right? It's the kid who you saw this year and then you see him next year and then all of a sudden they're just like, whoa, where did you come from? You were like in a trailer park, now you're in a mansion. What the hell is going on here, right? And all of it's immediate gratification. We have this world that's saying, hey, you're supposed to get it now. And if you don't have it now, there's something wrong with you, you're broken, you know, And so what ends up happening, because we won't give it time to bake, we either bake it and burn it, like I said, or we will just see it taking, even while we're mixing the ingredients together, we don't have the result yet. And so we'll think, well, maybe it's the wrong recipe. So I need to change recipes. And so then you'll grab another recipe and you do the exact same thing. You crank up the temperature. You think you can do it half the time. The reality is it's going to take some time, right? To grow the firm the way you want it, to grow it to where you want it to grow to do the things, it's not about a grand slam effort. This is not a Herculean, hey, I'm going to pull this off. This doesn't happen in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or even sometimes 12 or 24 months. But the processes have to be in place, and then there's a consistent action that has to happen on the regular basis, week over week over week over week. You're not working today for the results in 90 days. You're working today for the results in 2 years. The version of your firm that exists 2 years from now is directly tied to what you're doing today. No different than where you find yourself today is the result of what you did 2 years ago. Aggressive patience. Aggressive patience. You must be patient. But being patient doesn't mean you're sitting around watching Netflix and just hoping things happen. Because if you're doing that, guess what? 2 years from now, nothing will have changed. You will be exactly where you're at today. Nothing will have shifted. You will be the same you. You'll be experiencing the same things. You'll have the same team, the same problems. It will all be the same. And that's a tragedy. To go 12 months and have no change, no shift, no adjustment. So what do we do then? How do we do this? How do we anchor into this? We become very aggressive about the things I need to do, but we let go and we're patient that the result will come. We follow a map that has been built and created Knowing that on the other end of that map is the result we're after, but realizing having patience to stay on course. To stay on course even when it feels like it's not working. The people that are the most unhappy in this life are the ones who constantly ping pong back and forth. They yo-yo from this to that, thinking that it's the thing that they're doing that's going to solve their problem for them. Oh, it's different one. Oh, it's this. It's because I chose to go into this area of law. That's the problem. I need to shift over here. That's what it is. Oh, it's this that's the problem. I need to shift over here. Oh, maybe I shouldn't even be an attorney. I needed to go be a doctor. Damn it, I chose the wrong profession. Maybe I could go back to school and learn that. Then I'll be successful. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll have the results I want. And you sit and you ping pong back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The second type of person that's very unhappy in this life is the type of person who reaches some level and then says, I'm done. I remember as a kid, this was like years and years ago, and I was like, I don't know, like a kid, like 10, 15, I don't know, some young age, right? I wasn't even in high school yet. And I just remember thinking, I can't wait till I'm done with school so that I can be done learning. I hate school, right? What I didn't realize, I actually love learning. I just hated school, like the environment of school. But isn't that an interesting thought? And all too often we find ourselves in that place where we will literally just settle into where we're at. And because we feel like we're good enough doesn't compel us to go forward, and then we just sit here and we sit stuck in this place, stuck in this realm, stuck in this world. We don't do anything from it. We don't move to something higher, something better, some different place, different destination, and we will settle into it. Those become the most discontented people, because those are the people that always have the question in their mind of, what if? What if? What if I had just gone? What if I had just done the thing? What if I had just taken action? But because they will not do that, and they refuse to do that, because they settle into that level, they settle into that place, guess what? They die, as Thoreau said, with their song still in them. Right, which to me is the biggest tragedy you could ever face in this world. Is to literally be to the end of your life, sitting there, 85, 90 years old, however old that's going to be, and looking back and asking that question. Oh man, what would have happened if I had just gone all in? What would have happened if I'd done it? How would my life have been different? So it's a crazy element. It's like looking at this from the perspective. If 5 years from now, I could guarantee you, and I said, listen, I can guarantee you're going to have $10 million a year in revenue. I can guarantee this 5 years from now. You just got to follow the steps we're doing today. Who wouldn't follow this? Who wouldn't follow these steps, right? Now, there's no way to guarantee an end result like that, but what I can guarantee you is if you don't start taking steps towards the map and towards the action to create that, I guarantee you won't have it. Like, that's a guarantee. You won't have it if you don't take the action and don't take the steps. But also understanding that you're following a recipe. Here in the Legal Edge is what we create. It's literally what it is. It's the roadmap that Shane built. That's how he built his firm. He built it sitting and positioning upon the legal edge, right? This operating system that we talk about here, and then the 4 pillars. That's it. It's the map. It's a very specific map. It's not confusing. It's not complex. It's not complicated. And sometimes it's not very sexy. And because it's not sexy, some of us would be like, well, I don't know if I want to do it. Okay. Well, and this is the guy who's going to go out and seek for the next new thing, thinking the next marketing gimmick. That's what it is. That's going to solve the problem. But if you don't get to the root and the core, it won't matter. It won't matter at all. It won't do anything. So I want you to take a look at your world. Take a look at your firm. Where in your firm do you need to exercise more aggressive patience? Patience on the result, but an aggression towards the daily actions that need to lead towards the result. But realizing that, if the cake needs to bake for 45 minutes, then you gotta leave it in the oven for 45 minutes. But that doesn't mean sitting around doing dick all. That means you are patiently waiting that time while you're being aggressive in the daily action. Where is that in your firm? Is it in your marketing, right? Is it in your sales process? Is it in fulfillment, right? Is it in your back end, right? Dealing with your paralegals, your assistants, and maybe getting them up to speed. It's putting some of these new systems into place and realizing that just because you said, hey, let's do this, that doesn't mean it happened. Maybe it's with your tax game, right? Your back end game. What do we do with the money, right? I don't know where it's at for you. Identify that area though, and then choose what's one thing that you can do about it today. And some of it could just be a reframe. Realizing that, hey, you've got the whole recipe in the bowl, and it's in the pan, and it's in the oven. You just got to keep going, because once the time frame hits, it's going to work. So where is that at for you? and do something about it today. If one thing that you can do, one action of aggressive patience that you can take. That's all I got for you. It's your boy Trevor White here with Legal Edge. Have a fantastic rest of your day.